Yep, that's right. Everyone is here in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch. Let's just get this out of the way. Final verdict, the game's great, World Game of the Year contender, 10 out of 10. Now let's actually talk about the game. If you're unfamiliar with Super Smash Bros., I pity your sad existence, first of all, but what you need to know is that it's a platformer with fighting mechanics inspired by sumo wrestling. Just instead of pushing your opponent out of a ring on the floor, you're throwing him off a giant platform hovering in the endless abyss of space. Sometimes. In general, your goal is to launch your opponent off the screen to cost them their lives or score you points. The more damage you do to them, the farther they fly, and you're trying to get them to hit the blast zones just off the edge of the screen. Last player standing and the player with the most points at the end of the game is the winner. And instead of a roster of moves involving directional rotations and combo memorization, unless you're Ryu, each character has a handful of attacks, usually requiring a single directional input in either your smash attack button, A, or your special attack button, B, as well as grabs with the shoulder buttons and dodges and shielding with the triggers. Smash Bros. Ultimate is the second portable version of the game and the fifth version overall. It's by far the biggest. You know, everyone's here, so it's gotta be the biggest. 70 playable characters, 100 maps, 900 music tracks spanning over a day's worth of audio, and a 30-hour single-player campaign mode. It's a crazy amount of unlockables, rewards, and content. It's a lot of content. And the door is opening. The door to the future of Smash! Do a door transition zoom in wipe, I guess. For a new player, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is probably one of the better games to start off with. You start with a tight roster of just 8 characters, the same 8 as Smash 64. And you unlock new ones every 10 minutes, which gives you time to pick a character and start getting used to the controls. Ultimate plays about the same as Smash 4 did, but with various quality of life improvements that make the game more competitive without it becoming too competitive. The game on a whole feels faster. It's more fluid than Smash 4, thanks to additions like more potent air dodges, almost indicative of wave dashes in Melee, and just more air control in general in pretty much every fighter, as well as the ability to parry, or they call them perfect shields in the last game, being based on releasing your shield at the right time rather than pressing shield at the right time. Some of these little additions make the game just feel a lot more fluid, and it's easy to go from a parry to a series of hits much easier than any other game. It's nice. There's so many fighters and so much variety in moves, and it just feels great. It's chaos in motion, and I love it. Speaking of the fighters, the returning cast is great. Characters from Smash 4 have been rebalanced to feel more equal on the whole, and while a skilled Bayonetta player in 4 won't feel completely foreign after unlocking her in Smash Ultimate, they won't be able to absolutely dominate tournaments like they could in the Wii U and 3DS versions. On top of that, characters like Kirby and Pikachu feel a lot more capable than they used to. They're a little stronger and a little more sturdy. Characters who took a break from 4 or were banned from 4, because apparently the Ice Climbers were banned, or even characters who haven't been in a game since Melee, like Young Link, Pichu, Snake, they feel totally fresh and feel right at home. It's good to have them back. But as for the new additions, The Echo Fighters like Daisy, Dark Samus, and Ken feel pretty good. These are essentially your clone characters the other games that have had, but they've been given a few other changes to further differentiate them from the base character. Ganondorf is no longer just a straight clone of Captain Falcon, and he feels really good on his own. Simon Belmont and Inkling just feel like natural additions, and I love it. But I can't help but feel there's a bit of a schism when it comes to the roster. Oh, right, it's these clowns. Ridley is a beast. He's crazy powerful, including having a charged special attack capable of dealing 50 damage, without the pizzazz the likes of Falcon Punch or Warlock Punch, or without the trickiness of Jigglypuff's Rest. The attack gets lost in the chaos, and it's super easy to fall prey to it if you just stick around him for too long. What bothers me about Ridley is that Bayonetta received nerfs all throughout the public beta, getting a bit weaker at every public event the game was shown off at. But Ridley, who's been playable since that same time, he's still just as powerful as he was. On the other side of the coin is King K. Rool, the antagonist of the Donkey Kong Country games, just this large, clumsy pickup truck of a guy in every sense of the word. His range is a bit weak, his attacks are awkward to use, his specials are pretty meh, and his smashes lack a lot of versatility. A lot of these weaknesses I feel stem from the fact that he's the only heavyweight character with a counter ability, which lets you reflect an attack back. Compared to the likes of Bowser or Ganon, Ridley and King K. Rool just aren't as capable or as fun to play as, and it disappoints me to say. They're not terrible. I feel like they're a little too overpowered and underpowered, respectively. I guess patches could take care of that. I guess we'll see. Now that the rest of the cast is getting off scot-free, though, Inkling is fun to play as. She's got really good momentum, and it's a joy to zip around the map as her. But most of her attacks consume her ink tank, and when she's out, her smash attacks are much weaker, and some special attacks are impossible. So how do you fill up an ink tank? Well, when you're completely empty, you can use your down special or neutral special to reload. But that's often not very convenient. What about if you're in the heat of battle and need to use a super bomb now? You press shield and B. It's a bit of an esoteric button combo that doesn't feel very intuitive in my opinion. I guess in hindsight it makes sense, but I had to read through the tips menu to see that. And if you don't read the tips menu or it just never flashes up as a tooltip on the loading screen, it's going to take you a while to figure that one out. I'm imagining taking this game to game night. Hey, what's Inkling's reload button? Oh, it's shield and B. Oh, thanks. Somebody has to know that first to make things go smoothly. That just bothers me. And, I mean, at the end of the day, these are minor issues. These are nitpicks. I don't think the roster is worse off for characters like K. Rool and Ridley. We needed more villains in the lineup, and we got them. And I like that. I'm thankful Sakurai made the decision to add these characters. I just hope patches help them along in the near future. I mean, as it currently stands, you can learn to use K. Rool rather well, and the roster is still really solid and lots of fun. There's just some minor kinks that can be worked out. I mean, if it's any consolation, Smash 4 had the most unbalanced roster of any of the Smash games. If you owned the DLC, Cloud and Bayonetta were just too good at everything. Moving on to the maps, there's a ton of them. There's over 100, and the number can be daunting, especially with some repeats like the 2 Animal Crossing maps. I'm not sure what differentiates one from the other, but they're both here. Stage hazards on every map can be disabled alongside changing them to Battlefield or Final Destination modes, indicative of the Battlefield or Final Destination maps. So no longer is one at just standing on top of the building, it's actually Final Destination shaped, which is a very nice touch. If you're a competitive fan, the number of casual maps isn't really an issue. You can turn off stage hazards if you still want the map layout, and you can switch them to Battlefield and Final Destination forms if you need them. One prevailing issue with this map selection, and the roster, though it's lessened early on with just a few characters, is that everything is sorted chronologically, which is nice for people who've played every Smash game, but not that great for newcomers. You kind of just see little bits of Mario, Zelda, F-Zero, Fire Emblem, just scattered all around. I wish you had the option to sort both the maps and characters by series, like how you can stack clone fighters or echo fighters into the main fighter, but we don't get that. We don't have that. I hope that gets added in a patch. If that doesn't get added in any patch, I feel like that's a missed opportunity, and at the current moment, I feel like it's a little confusing for new players, but you can learn. You could learn to come around that. I just think being able to sort by series would be a little more convenient. 103 maps is a really daunting number. The core fighting is just as good as ever. Heck, it's better than ever. The items and maps are all really great. Practice mode makes learning the ropes very, very easy, complete with launch diagrams for every attack. And it is a very handy training map that includes everything you could possibly need to up your Smash game. Whether it's learning a new character or shaking the rust off of an old favorite, everything's here. And that's not the only single player mode. We have Classic Mode, All-Star, 100-Man Smash, and... oh, that's it. Yeah, there's no Trophy Rush, no Home Run Contest, no Target Blast, no Break the Targets, none of that. Again, it's a little disappointing, but there's probably a really good chance that most people never booted those up, so I get their exclusion. It might also be because there's, 70 characters. They spent probably a year, easily a year, if not more, securing the rights to all of these characters again. It would have been nice to get a little something extra, but that's probably where the Spirits mode comes in. Spirits is the name of a whole series of performance-augmenting characters, but it's also the name of the new Adventure mode. Kind of. That's World of Light. I wrote the script, and I'm reading it. World of Light features a cast of Smash characters obliterated, destroyed, there's nothing left. Except Kirby. And boy, oh boy, is this the best Kirby game Hal's put out since, I don't know, Superstar Ultra. Right? That was the last one, right? There's a Kirby game this year. Oh, how many have there been since Superstar Ultra? That's a lot. That's frankly a lot. Wow. Travel the map, fighting event battles to reclaim the spirits of abandoned Nintendo properties, freeing the trophies of your former friends from the shackles of Galim, which is just like this biblical angel seraphim thing. Nintendo, Namco, Konami, Sega, Square Enix, Capcom, one of you guys. You alright? You need a minute? You need a glass of water? You need to talk? What's going on? What is this? Spirits is a fun diversion from the main game as long as you ignore the fact that it's 30 hours. And it features plenty to do and see with its massive, expansive overworld you unlock bit by bit. And while it might not be a beat-em-up like the last Smash Adventure modes with platformer levels, it's still got plenty of action and feels more concise than other melees or brawls, because it's just a battle after battle. The spirits you collect are both stickers and equipment from Brawl and 4 respectively, but they're also the trophies. Yeah, trophies were also cut from the game due to being hard to develop. I get that making 700 detailed 3D models of these characters and settings is rough, but I feel like I learned something new about the character of the game or Nintendo when I read trophy descriptions. It would have been nice even to get just a sentence about a character. Hinawa from Mother 3. Okay, that's a spirit. But if I added Lucas's loving mother, that gives you a better indication as to her character and helps give the match justification. When you fight Lucas and Klaus and a Zelda who is Hinawa, you understand. You understand why you're fighting two Lucases, and you understand the connection to the character, everything better. Sometimes a spirit match helps, like the Baitan from Subspace Emissary just being a horde match against a bunch of Pac-Man. That helps explain those enemies, but to a new player with no basis, it could seem contextless and strange. Some of them just seem weird. The boss from Metal Gear being a Zero Suit Samus in the Garden of Hope? Okay. I've never played a Metal Gear game. You want to explain this one to me, fellas? Do I have to read the wiki? You want me to have the Metal Gear wiki open at the same time? On one hand, there's 1,200 of these things, but on the other hand, if they could write 700 paragraphs, I think they could have done 1,200 sentences. Maybe because this is the first Smash game being released in 11 languages at the same time? That's a whatever, I guess. I could take it or leave it. A little disappointed, but that's just minor disappointment. Don't get me wrong, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is loads of fun. Definitely one of the best Smash games we've ever gotten. But with the lack of side attractions and so much emphasis put on celebrating past Smashes, it almost feels like it's not sure about itself. I like Ultimate more than 64 and Melee, for sure. I like the fighting more than I like Brawl and 4. But I feel like the side stuff in Brawl and 4 was just a lot more fun. It kept me playing the games longer. Brawl having a 4-player beat-em-up and 4 having Smash Run and Target Blast gave me something to do when I got tired of the fighting. And with Ultimate, if I get tired, the answer is just to shut the game off. That just feels like a step back in my opinion. Do the extra fighters and stages make up for the loss of these side attractions? Your call. It's a yes, it's also a no. If you like Smash Bros. For its fighting and don't play much of the side stuff, Ultimate is by far the best entry in the series and it's jam-packed with so much content it hurts. But for people who liked the smaller stuff, the Smash Runs and trophy descriptions, Ultimate will feel a little lacking despite being such a massive game. I'm glad I bought it. I don't hate the game. I don't dislike the game. I don't even just like the game. I love Smash Ultimate. It's tons of fun. The DLC sounds great so far. But I think I'm still a bigger fan of Smash 3D for its side content. That gave me extra things to do when I got tired of just punching people in the face. That said, I carry my Switch around more than my 3DS these days, so... My final verdict is that Ultimate has great fighting, but that's about all you've got. It's lacking in side stuff, and whether that's trimming the fat or removing fun additions that make Smash Bros. Feel more fleshed out, more like a gallery of celebrating gaming history, that's your call. It's a blast either way. It's definitely one of the best Smash games we've gotten, and it's one we'll be enjoying for years to come. It's definitely a must-have for the Switch. It's definitely a must-have for the Switch, but it's a bit of a divisive entry in Smash Bros. In my humble opinion. I guess we'll see how this one plays out, but for the time being, if you've got issues with anything I said, we can settle it in Smash. Just kidding. Just we can't. I don't plan to play the online. I never played any of the online in any of the Smash games. So, and they got rid of video responses. I was just about to say, record video of you fighting a level 9 Ryu and just say you're beating me up. But there's no video responses. I don't have a joke to end this on now. Oopsies.
Hey, ha, toria, ha, say, ha, ya, tea, to, ya, hai, ah.